Hi, my name is Calvin. I'm a tester for 29er Online, and I'm here today to basically talk about the Rocky Mount Element 970. Some of the actual strengths that I want to talk about and weaknesses, I'm going to get into detail, but let's start with the strengths. As far as the Rocky Mount Element 970, I thought was great. On a scale from a 1 to 10, I always like to give scales, I give it a 7. It's a great climber. It's very nimble. It stays on the trail. It holds its line going up the hill. It's very responsive as far as the steering. The play as far as in the suspension system is very good. I had no concerns there. Overall, it did a really good job as far as climbing. I have nothing but good things to say in that area as far as the strength of the bike, as far as when you're trying to climb and race up a hill. Other strengths that I really liked with the Rocky Mount Element 970 was the smooth link system. Going downhill, surprisingly, it held its line, didn't bounce a lot on the trail, was very stable, didn't feel a lot of bumpiness as far as being bumped off your line. It handled rocks down the hill like a champ. And also, we had a chance to basically using a very difficult rock section as far as the rock garden, rocks ranging anywhere from 6 inches to 16 inches. And it held its line in there, and the suspension system held up and did its job. So I was able to hold this line going through some very gnarly stuff. So in that regard, I thought the bike did very, in that regard, I thought the bike was very responsive in that area. So I guess some of the weaknesses that I like to point out, obviously, again, I really have good things to say about the bike. There's maybe several parts that you can maybe make a little lighter just to make it a little bit more nimble and a little bit more race-like. But for the most part, I really don't have any down or anything bad to say about the bike. I thought it was a good overall bike, especially for the price point. You know, the person I think that's going to get the most out of this bike is probably the person who has already had his first or second bike. This bike is definitely race bike material because there's so many different things that you can do to make it lighter and get it ready for race day. So if you're looking to start racing competitively, I think it's a good bike to start off with for the bang, for the amount of money you need to spend to be very competitive. The trail guy is going to have fun. I mean, anytime a person can get on the bike and the bike is responsive, going uphill and downhill, that is the trail guy. That guy is going to enjoy this particular bike. Again, it holds its line going up and it holds its line going down. So you know, like I said, I give it a 7 for climbing, and I'll give it a 6.5 for downhill. And it's not a downhill bike, and I thought it held its line really good. I definitely think this bike would do it. Obviously, you got to be a skilled rider if you want to go bombing hills and make sure you pick your line so you just don't tear up your frame and bust up your rims. But it's definitely capable of doing that. And anybody in that range is going to have almost a dual-like bike. You know, he can run it for race day and then also turn it on and make it a trail bike. Or if he wants to basically go downhill, he's going to be able to do that too.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, like I said, overall this bike is good. I've had a chance to test.
So why a 7?
Great question. A 7 because the way it climbs. It's surprisingly, it climbs very good and it holds its line and it's comfortable. You don't have to put a lot of effort as far as your climbing. You just get in your gear and pedal and the bike moves and is responsive. And that's what I really enjoy when you're going uphill. You just get in your gear and you settle down and just pedal and spin.
Okay. So why not a 10? What made it not a 10 for you?
Well, you know, I hate to give things a perfect score just because, you know, it's not quite there yet, but a 7 is pretty good. And there's a lot of things that's involved as far as when you want to give an 8 or 9 or a 10. And not to say that this bike, depending on a couple little pieces or components that you might do or switch to make it 8 or 9, but right now, as the bike is set up right now, it's a 7.